Hi people, I got a YouTube request for asking me how I arrange the synthetic cable on my winch. If you notice, my 12,000 on this Jeep is very used and abused. I totally removed the original cable lock, as it usually tended to get pulled out. And the secret to synthetic winch cables is actually how you arrange it. So this is what I did. I tied a simple knot, and the excess cable I laid it out here so that when I spool in, the cable sits on it. So what's important is the first or the two first rolls. So we'll start arranging this. I made sure the cable is wet. It allows me to spool in tighter, and so this is how it goes. Okay, so you make sure that the first few winds is very tight, and it's sitting on that extra cable that you put in there. You should keep it really tight on the first two rows. Better to have the vehicle pull its own weight. What I'm doing now is I have a couple of people holding on to the other side, and the cable is running through a bucket of water. It's over there. Okay, so the first row is very important. The second row is equally as important. Usually make sure you always have two rolls on your winch spool. The moment you get less than two, you have a tendency of the cable, whether synthetic or steel, to slip and put pressure on the side lock, which usually pulls it out. The side lock is just here to hold the cable in place in case you do spool it out to the full. So that's it. We'll keep spooling this in. We're doing the second row, so I'm guiding the cable. It went on top of the other, so we have to reverse a bit and rearrange it. Would be a lot better to wear gloves. Ironman 4x4 has leather winching gloves, especially if your cable is steel. So this is one of the beauty of a synthetic cable. Although I regularly winch this out, clean it, wet it, and make sure that when it's parked, it's covered from the sun, as synthetic cables don't like UV. So we're up on our third row. You see the cable is wet. A wet cable, makes it really tight on the spool, and you have to keep your synthetic cable clean, as dirt and mud eats through your cable. Very abrasive, actually. Be very careful of your hands. So we'll continue doing this. There, so it's in, it's tight, it's ready for our next trail. Okay, so we're done. It's tight on the bumper. I made a simple rubber cover, so when it's parked in the garage, it's not exposed to the sun.